It is?
Very easy to cook.
And it's very, very...
Assalamualaikum guys. Today she's preparing the dough for the Lahm Ba'ajin Trabelsiyy, which translates to Lahm Ba'ajin Tripoli way, or basically a Tripoli, Lebanon Tripoli, that is, not Libya Tripoli, pizza. That's the Tripoli-style pizza. The Manouche, yes. In Arabic it's manouche, but basically it's the equivalent to pizza. So you put
2 kilos of flour.
2 kilos of plain flour, yep.
2 tablespoons of salt.
2 tablespoons of salt.
Sugar.
2 tablespoons of sugar. And you mix it well. Then you add 2 whole eggs. So this particular manouche was invented in Tripoli, Lebanon. They specialize in it. It's a delicious style of manouche. Then you add 1 cup of oil, vegetable oil. Yep, vegetable oil.
Canola oil and vegetable oil.
Basically, it has to be a neutral oil, like a canola oil, a neutral vegetable oil. It can't be a strong type of oil.
And start adding warm water.
So you start adding warm water slowly. So she's added almost 1 liter of warm water so far. And this particular dough needs to be thoroughly mixed, very well mixed. So after mixing for 5 minutes and you reach this point, the dough is basically not too firm. It's a bit, has a bit of a rubbery consistency. So after mixing it for about 10 minutes, and it took roughly about 900 milliliters of water, so almost a liter. Depends on the type of flour you use, but on average about a liter for this amount of flour. And it's got like a almost a rubbery consistency at this point. And
Let it rest for half an hour.
Yeah, you let it rest for about half an hour, and then you can start working with it.
So after the dough has rested, you cut them up into small pieces to the desired size, and then you roll them up and you put them on a tray with a bit of oil at the base of it, and you let them rest
From half an hour to 1 hour.
for about half an hour to 1 hour resting time. And now she's preparing the filling, or the meat mixture, the lamb mixture, to be placed on top of the Tripoli manouche. So she starts with 2 kilos of lamb. So obviously that's for a big batch, and she cooks it down. So after she cooks out most of the moisture out of the lamb mixture, she adds what looks like a ton of onion. It's 2 kilos of onion on top. So obviously she's making a big.
So what's the big one?
It's yeah. So basically the ratio of meat to onion is 1 to 1. So she used 2 kilos of meat to 2 kilos of onion. And this is basically for frozen goods. She prepares everything, and then she snap freezes them, puts them in freezer bags in the freezer, and she brings them out as she needs them from time to time. Yeah, so this is basically we're preparing for Ramadan, inshallah. So Ramadan's around the corner. And yes, this is the basically prep meals she's preparing for Ramadan ahead of time. So she adds 2 tablespoons of ghee, a pinch of salt, and a pinch of black pepper, and she stirs it well. So at this point, you turn the heat off to the mixture, and then you add 1 bunch of freshly chopped parsley, and 1 bunch of freshly chopped mint, just to give it that fresh and herby flavor. Okay, so after she's taken the mixture off the heat, she adds with a half a cup of tahini sauce, and also quarter of a cup of white vinegar. And then you taste it and make sure you're happy with the flavors. You can adjust the tahini and the vinegar, and now she's also adding 3 heaped spoons of natural Greek yogurt, and there's the good stuff there. A half a cup of pomegranate molasses, homemade of course. The ingredients is in the description below, so you can just follow the ingredients, and the step-by-step procedure is also in the ingredients below. So this is also a very authentic, exclusive to Tripoli. They excel at this. They invented this dish. It's literally called a Tripoli manouche. It's their own version of the manouche. And the bread, the base, the dough, is a very buttery type of, how do you describe it, like almost like a phyllo pastry consistency and even taste. And it's got a bit of a sort of a crunch to it, a bit of a fluffy sort of similar to phyllo pastry. That's the type of pastry you're dealing with compared to other sort of manouche, like traditional style manouche, where they're a bit similar to pizza dough. This is unique in that sense, where it's a bit like phyllo pastry. Okay, so I'm the quality control person, so I gotta taste it if I have to. Needs a bit more salt. The acidity is too high, so you gotta balance it with a bit of salt. A bit more. Yeah, I think that should do it. The acidity is enough. I don't think you need more molasses, pomegranate molasses or vinegar. That's enough acidity. You just got to balance it out with a bit of salt, and that should be perfect. You can really taste the aroma of the fresh parsley and the mint. If I have to, look, I'll do it. I'll do it for the quality, you know. Bismillah. Yeah, the salt really brought out the flavors, and yeah, just balanced the acidity out. And I think that's perfect now. Yeah, that's perfect. And you just let it cool now, ready to be placed on the dough. If you like what you've seen so far, and you want to see more delicious, authentic recipes, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. So after the dough has been resting for 1 hour in the vegetable oil, you grab one of them, and you start spreading it on a flat surface, and make sure you have a plate of ghee handy, because you need to keep it nice and greasy and slippery to make it easier to spread. That's the type of dough this is. Must be always greasy all the time to make it paper thin. You can see how thin it is. It's literally paper thin. And you just keep spreading the dough out on the flat surface until it's roughly about 30 centimeter radius. If it rips in certain places, doesn't matter.
You hold it from one end.
And you hold it from one end, and you start wrapping it against around your 2 fingers, and you're stretching at the same time as you're wrapping around until you reach the very end. Then you tuck it in like so, and you place it on a tray. Let's do one more. This time I will just keep quiet. Picture's worth 1,000 words. There you go, that's the technique. Off to the next step. And this is the final product, guys. All this dough has been rolled up and ready to go. So ideally you would rest it for one hour at this point before we start the filling process. Or you can leave it overnight in the fridge. That's not a problem as well. So after the dough has rested, now you start flattening the dough to prepare for the landing of the mixture. You can see how buttery and glossy this dough is. That's the type of dough it is.
And very easy to work with. Very easy to work with.
And it's very, very easy to work with. And you just apply the mixture on top.
Yeah. Make sure to leave the edges clear.
You make sure you leave the edges clear of filling.
So it becomes flaky and buttery.
Okay, so it can become flaky and buttery and doesn't become soggy from the mixture. Then you add a few pine nuts on top to give it that nutty flavor. And for a little bit of decoration at the same time. And it's ready to go in the oven for.
Or you can freeze it.
It's ready to go in the oven, or you can freeze it as is,
Yeah,
as is in batches of freezing bags. Then you bring it out straight into the oven whenever you need it. And how long does it take to cook in the oven? So just until it's golden brown, so anywhere between 10 minutes to, anywhere 20 minutes to half an hour, depending.
We'll write that.
Yeah. So you can see the layers of the dough, one on top of the other. And this is what makes it fluffy, buttery, and flaky. It's a very special dough, this one. It will not disappoint. And that's the final product, guys. Nice and flaky and buttery dough with a beautiful aromatic mixture on top. So again, this is a Tripoli specialty. It's a specialty to that region. Delicious version of the Lahm Ba'ajin. So if you like what you've seen so far, please like, share and subscribe. And this is how I like to eat it, guys. Just a bit of a lemon, and then you drizzle some beautiful fresh pomegranate molasses to give it that sharpness and a bit of sweetness, and you just go for it. Bismillah. Absolutely divine. Please don't forget to share, like, subscribe for more delicious recipes.